Alright, what's going on again? Today I'm doing a review of 4th gen F bodies, more specifically the 98 to 02, 2002, not 1902. Basically, I'm going to go over some good stuff about these cars, the bad things, just what you got to deal with, you know, and you know, if you should buy one or not. Is it a good daily? Is it a good race car? So, just give you guys an idea if you're looking at getting one. I'll start with the interior. Trans Am's interiors are actually pretty decent. They're a little bit more modern. The Camaros are kind of more square. They have better seats. Downsides interior wise, that right there, everybody knows about that. Cracked door panels. The dash, I was excited when I got this car, but next day, dash cracked. So that's kind of things you just have to deal with. Not a huge deal, but it's annoying. These cup holders, really flimsy. Ashtrays break, center console lids break. People like to charge a lot of money for those too. Besides that, interiors are really not that bad, but it's GM. I guess basically 90s GM. You got the little gauges and stuff right here. They're not bad. I mean, it goes up to like 160, so it's got a back seat. It's not the biggest, but it does work in a pinch. So I'll go ahead and get onto the drivetrain and we'll go for a drive and I'll show you some more stuff. Alright, drivetrain on these cars, LS1, or I think it's like a 3.8 V6. So obviously the LS1 is a great motor, but there's some certain things about this car that make, I don't know, drivetrain issues. First off, you can see this motor is like halfway under the dash. It is not fun at all trying to do spark plugs or exhaust or pretty much anything on this car. Another downside, these power steering reservoirs and stuff, the lines run down. There's actually a cooler for it, for all the, you know, serious turning you do. That loves to leak all over the place, and they place the alternator directly below it, so that leaks on there too. And the alternators are not the best either on these. I mean, they work, but they're really low power. I mean, if you have a sub or anything, you can just see the needle hitting really bad. Besides that, LS1's a great motor. You got alright heads on them. They're not the best actually, depending on the year and stuff too. So onto the transmission in the car. This one, T56, but they came with a T56 and a 4L60E. The T56, some people think they're not that tough. I think they're pretty good actually, especially for a stock car. Really no complaints, honestly. Besides my 98, the reverse didn't like to work, but I'm not sure if that was something from the previous owner. I also drove a CTSV and the reverse didn't work either, so that might just be a T56 thing. 4L60, they're not good. If you have a stock car, you're daily driving it, you could probably be fine, just replace it once or something. But if you plan on doing any kind of power or anything on these cars, 4L60 is not the way to go. On from that, we got the rear end on the car. Factory 10 bolt, I think it's like a 7.5. Also not the best. I've had decent luck with them, but my last Trans Am, this one's pretty much stock. My last one had like 420 wheel horse, so if you put slicks on them, they'll probably break. If you have a lot of power, over 400, it's probably gonna break. But if you're just messing around, even if you have decent power and on street tires, you'll probably be fine. I mean, it pauses up really nice. I don't have any issues with that. So now I'll actually go for a drive, check the car out some more. Basically all I've got left to go over is the differences between the 98s and 02s, which is better. And, you know, if it's actually a good car to buy, is it something you want to daily or, you know, race? So, I'll start with the differences. I would not buy a 98, even though I had one. 98 has, you can get, well, even 99 stuff, there's piston slap. They're more likely to spin 2000 up have the Viper second gear, and I think it's like upgraded shift forks, and there's like these little, I can't think what they're called right now, but they're carbon instead of paper, so they're a lot better. So I mean, honestly, it's worth it for that alone. Plus 01s, 02s, they had some had LS6 block, but I think basically all of them had LS6 intake, which that's worth like $400 on its own. A little better injectors too. So 98, the PCM or ECM or whatever, it's not as good. It's a lot harder to, not harder, but it has less options when tuning and stuff. It works. I mean, that's what you got, it works. So if you can find a 98 that's like dirt cheap, I would still buy it, but I would really recommend, you know, an 02, an 01, something like that. I'm trying to think of any other differences. Oh, wiring. My 98, it had like, the brake light worked only when you put the right turn signal on, and like the headlights, I only had brights like the whole time I owned it. Probably bad grounds or something, but it was pretty much a race car, so I didn't really care. Really, drivability wise, I think they're awesome. I mean, they're like, this is like $30 to fill up with premium, and I literally drive it all week on $30 up and down hills, and, you know, in traffic and stuff. The only downside, I guess, is like interior cargo space, but it's a pretty decent commuter, actually. I mean, if you have to put somebody back there, if you have a kid, you know, this is not a soccer mom vehicle, but if you had a kid and you're like, I need to, you know, take him or her somewhere, you can fit him back there. Like I said, decent gas mileage. I mean, it's an LS, it's a reliable motor. It's easy to fix, there's parts everywhere. So, honestly, I would say daily driver-wise, it's a great idea. Racing platform, I think they're a great foundation, because, I mean, you can fit, like, get some ZR1 wheels, and you can fit 315s square on these cars. Most parts are usually pretty cheap. They're alright to work on. I mean, like I said, the motor and stuff's halfway to the dash, so that sucks. But they're good platforms. I mean, especially for like drag racing, you put, you know, built motor, turbo 400, and a 9-inch, and you're good to go. Super aerodynamic. They're already a, you know, live axle rear end. They're great for drag racing. So I think I'm gonna do this one a little bit more autocross style, but we'll see what happens with it. And I mean, they're just fun cars. I mean, this thing gets a lot more looks probably than a newer muscle car would. I mean, I have people asking me questions all the time about it at gas stations and stuff, and it's a lot cheaper than a new Camaro or a Mustang, so I don't know where I am right now. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much wraps it up.